Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ERSCA series on 3Y TV and Belly Up Sports TV. Dom Santina here with you up in the booth at Daytona International Speedway to kick off year 3 here at the Harpoon Design 250 ERSCA season, year number 3, getting ready to get underway. And a massive change this season compared to last season. We're going to go back about 10 years while NASCAR in real life is making a change in the type of car they're driving. We're going to go back to the car of tomorrow and bring that one here to you, as that's what these drivers will be driving here all season long. Dom Santino once again up here in the booth. David Westergreen will join me once he's done with his elite race here momentarily. And of course, we bring back the trio, Carlos Acosta sitting back in the production booth with 3Y TV, bringing you all the replays, all the actions, and the amazing technical work behind the scenes. They're getting ready to wrap up the practice session here in just a few minutes. Right now, Holzer is the fastest with Johnny Thomas and Josh Schobel, your top 3. But then we'll get ready to go for our Harpoon Designs 250 around Daytona. If you did not tune in and watch our clash or our duels the last 2 weeks, man, did you ever miss out? Great racing action. Helps set the lineup here as we do our own ERSCA Speed Weeks, just like the Daytona Speed Weeks. And that helped us get ready here for this Harpoon's Design 250. Of course, we have a lot of notable returners here in the series as well. Johnny Thomas lined this one up great, and Johnny going to make a jump up to the booth here every once in a while this season, going to run a part-time schedule, so he'll be joining us up here. Unfortunately, we will not have Emily as she's on to bigger and better things. She might stop in from time to time, but she's busy doing hockey in arena hosting, so in San Jose, so she will not be with us all the time, but we will have Johnny kind of filling in from time to time as well. Looks like we're waiting for David to get up here. He should, like I said, he should be here momentarily. But we'll get ready to go racing here soon. Some notable names that you might remember from last year. You got Kyle Hanshaw, Brandon Key, some big hitters as well. Zishan Dura, you got Cameron Rich, Damian Leininger, Matthew Bayuk, Scott Crump, Gerald Campbell, Nick Massey, Ethan Burrell. Massey and Burrell, your 2 defending champions. Burrell picked it up last year. Or sorry, no, Lutz picked it up last year. Burrell was contending for the championship. Massey as well. All 3 of them back here ready to go this season. Got Nick Indelicato, Josh Adams as well. So a lot of good drivers here, and we saw in the clash, there's some guys that have joined the series this season that can get up here and mix it up as well. And I believe David has joined us. David, are you there?
I'm there. Loading in right now. Ready to go, ready to get started.
Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up your practice session here, so actually jumping in right at the perfect time. Going to get ready to go green here just in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's really exciting, you know, to switch over to these COT cars. I think we saw 2 really good races in the duels last week. Jeff Green, I believe, rolling from the pole, so this is going to be really exciting. I'm looking for those guys like Tate Lytle, who won duel number 2, going around on the outside. That looked like it was the way to go, but it's going to be an endurance race. I think you're going to have to get to the end in order to be able to make that move late. So it's going to be all about who avoids those wrecks in the middle part of the race.
I agree. I think the duels give us a great look into what we can expect here at the super speedway racing that is, at least this year. Of course, we got a busy schedule ahead of us as well, and we'll get into that later, but ready to kick off the regular season and get our first points-paying race out of the way.
Yep, that'll be huge to start the run for the championship. You know, we run a standard chase style format, similar to the way things went back in 2011 when this car was run. and that's going to really, sorry, let me. There we go. Sorry, that's really going to make it so that the winner of the championship was really deserving. They're going to have to perform all throughout the chase. Last year, Ryan Lutz, his worst finish inside the chase, 8th place. That will do it. That is enough to get a championship. You have to be that kind of consistent. No bad races whatsoever. No bad breaks. A little bit lucky, a little bit talent, and all resulting in the big championship, which Ryan Lutz did win last year.
All right, so we're getting ready to go here for the Harpoon Design 250 as your starting lineup is on the grid. And your pole sitters based on qualifying times will be Josh Robin and James Heater, and Jared Rexing and Tate Lytle taking your 2 dual wins. Through the rest of the top 10, Matthew Weeks will start 5th, Gerald Campbell 6th, 7th will be Nick Massey, 8th will be Seth Rawls, 9th will be Cameron Rich, and 10th will be Christopher Darling.
Yeah, Josh Adams starting 11th. He won the Clash, so he's definitely one to look out for moving forward. Then you've got Drew Eisenman, Dallas Myhand, Austin Beers, who ran from mid to late pack all the way up through to finish 7th in his dual race. I'd look out for him in the 64 car today. Dylan Thomas, Joe Francis, Mark Whitley, Garen Turner here to round out 18th, and then Josh Sobel and Zishan Dura starting 19th and 20th.
We'll continue to go through the field here as we get up to pace laps. 21st will be Josh Clark. 22nd will be Ethan Burrell. Look for him to come through the field a little bit. 23rd will be Andy Trupiano. 24th will be Michael Goodwin. 25th will be Jordan Owens. 26th, Kwame Scott. 27th, Matthew Bayuk. 28th, Johnny Thomas. 29th will be Jeff Green. And 30th will be Kyle Hanshaw.
It's Robin who won the pole, not Jeff Green. My mistake. 31st is Damian Leininger. He and Jeff Green got together on the last lap of that duel. Look for both of them to move their way forward. 32nd, Hank Steinmiller. 33rd, Scott Crump. 34th will be Delicato. 35th, Mogard. 36th, Jared Darling. The brothers Jared there. 37th, Thomas Sherman. James Holzer, 38th. Brandon Key, 39th. Harrison Talon, 40th. And then rounding out the field, several guys who did not get into their dual race: Marshall Stanley, Richard Hines, and Ryan Lutz.
43 cars ready to go here at Daytona. Looks like we're about ready to go green to kick off the ERSCA regular season. Lights out on the pace car. Gonna hold down pit road, and here we go. We're about to get underway. The Belly Up Sports Harpoon Designs 250 on 3Y TV is ready to go. Robin will take the early lead as Jared Rexing will tuck into second. He'll start to single file out like we saw early in the dual race.
Matthew Weeks slicing around. He's looking to go for something here, trying to work with his teammate Tate Lytle and jump up through the field and try to lead early. Weeks led a big chunk of that first duel, but was ultimately thwarted on the final lap by Jared Rexing. Tires are squealing through the tri-oval. These guys are trying to take care of their equipment for sure, but it's going to be tough with these cars with these big motors, 220, 230 miles an hour. Remember, these are not restricted engines. If they were, you might be seeing that tandem racing that was run around 2011, but as it is, it's more like the old 1980s style Daytona.
Really single file back to about the 9th position where Mark Whitley, Seth Rawls, Josh Sobel, Christopher Darling are. They're side by side, and now it looks like everyone has kind of single filed out except left one car up there all alone at the top. I believe that's Seth Rawls stuck on the outside.
Yeah, maybe the driver of the duels was Seth Rawls. Had to race his way in in the races there and drove up to second at the end of the day, finishing third in that second duel and earning his spot in this race. It is really, really tame right now, a lot more so than those dual races. We saw a lot more double file, a lot more guys trying that outside lane. Now that there's $100 on the line, single file, everybody's on the apron or on the yellow line trying to keep their cars under control.
Rawls really the only one that's still stuck on the high side out there. Some cars taking a peek out just to get a little bit of fresh air to their car, cool their cars down a bit, but other than that, single file through the rest of the field.
Rexing's looking for that race lead entering turn 1. Not going to get it there, but he has kind of gotten up close to Josh Robin and pushed him away from Matthew Weeks a little bit. And then now there's a side-by-side battle for 5th. Dallas Myhand is going after James Heater. A little muscle from the 26 car. Those Shift Esports Dodges really looking sporty here today. They're all up here in the top 20 or so.
Those front two of Robin and Rexing have pulled away by about 0.2 of a second from Weeks. Now as he tries to close in the gap again, just here in the opening 5 laps, and it looks like Weeks is able to pull away just a little bit from Lytle and try to close in on these front two.
Yeah, you're going to get a draft effect. As the first car to have some problems is go on pit road there. Couldn't tell who that was. Dropped off the bottom. I think it's going to be Kwame Scott. And he may have just started the race. He is 3 laps down. That is a tough break for the 99 car early in this one. So hopefully he can get some lucky dogs and get back through the field. But as it stands, he will be 3 laps down in the first car off the lead lap here tonight. Campbell moved up to 5th there, and up to 6th, and he's challenging James Heater for 5th down the back straightaway. He has help from Myhand. A couple of Dodges working together there to push around the Toyota of James Heater, and that hangs Heater up in the top lane. Where will he get down? It's almost like Martinsville. Josh Robin about spun out coming onto the straightaway that time. 8 cars getting loose. He's running it wide open. Handsome, hanging it out on that right rear tire.
Weeks just took a look there quickly under Rexing, nothing there. He'll settle back into 3rd, and now it's a 3-car breakaway up front as they pull away from Lytle just a bit.
Peter's falling all the way to 9th, and he's going to continue to drop back as Eisenman tries to jump underneath. Meanwhile, up front, everything's staying the same. Actually, I thought Matthew Weeks had a run on Jared Rexing there, but the 11 car backs out of it. The run is with the 31 of Gerald Campbell. He is all over the back bumper of Tate Lytle. Robin's struggling through the tri-oval. That's going to open the door for Rexing. No, Rexing gets up behind Robin. That's going to open the door for Weeks now.
That opened the door for everybody there as they went scrambling to try to find a way through there. Rexing is now stuck on the high side. Campbell going to come to the inside of him. That'll be at least another spot in Myhand and Lytle are in line as well. After Lytle, Rexing, he might have a chance to get down and fall back in line.
That was very interesting because I think Jared Rexing tried to let his teammate get back in line. Rexing and Robin, both teammates over there at, they're Aggressive Eagle Esports. So they're teammates with Gerald Campbell as well. And I think Rexing tried to help Robin out. Oh man, Campbell gets into Weeks. Almost a disaster for the pair of runner-up finishers in the duels, and it opens the door for Dallas Myhand. The field is really spread out this time. I mean, this is a lot more so than the duel. These guys, there's a lot of room back here where James Heater fell in line in 9th. Just a ton of open space between all the pack. I think Austin Beers might have hit the wall back in the field there.
I think that 31 car is going to be
one.
Oh,
Robin! Into the wall. He's going to come back down. That's unbelievable that wasn't a huge row. Then Robin does get spun. Heater's in the wall.
Oh, now more contact. That's Dylan Thomas. Thomas in the 03.
Somebody's up inside of Robin there. My goodness. And the caution does wave. The admin, Johnny Eckert, throws the caution. Bit of a scramble there. That wreck took forever to develop. Weeks, who got into Robin, I believe, off turn 4, which had been Robin's weak point there. And Robin came back down the track and was okay, but it was when he kind of merged back up onto the track that everything went haywire. I think that's Dylan Thomas there involved. Several cars going to be taking damage in this one. You know who's not going to be taking damage? Because those guys that were hanging way off the back of the pack, Nick Massey, Cameron Rich, Josh Adams, those guys were 15 seconds back. And they're going to be fine. So he's hit by the 77 car. That is Whitley. Try to get an accurate count on who all was involved in this one. Weeks tried to tuck in behind Robin, but just a little too close there. Nudges Robin around. And the pole sitter goes for a wild ride. My hand rather lucky. Jared Rexing rather lucky not to get tagged in this. Okay, Lytle sneaks by on the outside. Whitley hits the rear of Robin, and that pushes him up into Heater, who gets sent straight into the fence. Then Dylan Thomas comes along, nowhere to go. On the binders hard. Looks like one of the shift cars in the wall. And everyone has pitted as we look at the replay here. Looks like a net code between Garen Turner and whoever that was. Couldn't quite tell.
It looks like Michael Goodman's got some front nose damage as well. So I don't know if he got into the back of somebody, but the 30 car has a little damage as well.
He might have been the one that was up in the fence. So pit road now. Everybody on. Looks like first off. It wasn't Gerald Campbell. It was Ryan Lutz. Ryan Lutz and Hank Steinmiller have snuck off pit road first. They've gone for strategy. And Dallas Myhan stayed out, so he will be your leader. Then Lutz will be second. He told me this week he wanted to go from last to first. That was his goal. And so, well, he might have done it already, though he might have missed his pit stall. We'll see. I don't think he did, though. I think it's a Ryan Lutz move. But he does have a little damage on the right front of that 36 car, I believe. So looking at the cars with damage, Damian Leininger has damage in the 12, which bit shocking, I might say. Jeff Green disconnected from the server, so he had a bunch of damage. Jordan Owens has damage in the 45. So Goodman, Leininger, Owens, Jeff Green all wrecked in the back of the field there. Their race is going to be all about attrition and making the rest of the laps without totally wrecking the car completely. Lutz and Steinmiller do head down pit road this time by. I think Lutz missed his pit stall again. So, yeah, Lutz missed his pit stall for a second time, I believe. So, trouble for the defending champion, whose pit stall is like dead last, and it's usually not. You've got my hand. My hand did stay out. I don't know how many of these guys took tires, but we're seeing some of the guys who are strong in the duel make their way up to the front. Andy Trupiano is up to 8th, and he was very strong in his duel. Holzer was the other one, the 17 car. He's up to 5th place, and he was the one who was leading his duel before ending up getting spun by Ethan Burrell. So it was either 2 tires or no tires, says Carlos. I would agree with him there. Got Christopher Darling up in 8th. Matthew Bayuk has made his way to 9th. That Shifty Sports Dodge. Those pink and white Dodges, I believe they're running for every lap they lead and every win they get, they're donating money to the. And so my hand up front, leading laps, trying to, pile up as much donation as they can for this year and for all the races that team is running. So they're running for a good cause, got a good sponsor. I want to say I don't want to misspeak on what the sponsor is, but they are running for a good cause. Check them out: Shift Esports, Seth Rawls, Dallas Myhand, Nick and Delicato, Matthew Bayuk.
Going back to green here. Myhand and Campbell going to lead us to the green flag.
I'm going to look for James Holzer to drive up here and take the lead in that 17 car. He was very good. Pete Lytle's obviously no slouch in this, and Joe Campbell either. It's really control the race though from the lead in his duel. So that 17 can get the lead. That's bad news for the rest of the field.
Big run for the top side here. 4 cars going to get ahead of Myhand.
That was the old tires on that 41 car, made it very difficult to get up to speed. For Dallas Myhand there. Matthew Weeks up into third. Austin Beers has arrived in fourth. And a 4-car breakaway at the front, way in front of Tate Lytle, and then, you know, it's a second total back to sixth. So a lot of single file here as the pack is doubled up way in the back.
And what's doubling him up is Myhand. He is getting blown by on the inside, stuck on that high side. He's already fallen outside the top 10 and fall back to around the 15th and 20th position here quickly.
If it works out for Myhand and he can, you know, get back into pit road with no damage and put tires on it, he's learned his lesson. You cannot hold the field off with no tires. You've got to take fresh rubber in this COT car. Don't look now, Dom, but I just saw a name pop into the top 10. A rather familiar sight. Ethan Burrell has moved forward after getting involved in a crash in his duel and has risen that 37 car up in 10th place.
It's one thing we learned last year, and he's already starting to try to build on that this year. There's one guy that could bring it from what was having the worst luck last year to all of a sudden he'd be in there at the end of the race, not only battling for top 5s, but for wins. Burrell looking to start the season off strong here with the top 10 at Daytona.
Yep, 7-car breakaway at the front of the field. Burrell in the second pack. They are, you know, 2.5 seconds off of this front group of 7. Led by Gerald Campbell. He's got his teammate Jared Rexing behind him. Those guys clearly working together, trying to push this field away from the rest of the group. Weeks, Austin Beers, Tate Lytle, Christopher Darling, and Josh Sobel are your front group here, trying to pull away.
Group 2 is led by Matthew Bayuk, Seth Rawls, Ethan Burrell, Andy Trupiano, and then just off of them is Harrison Talon and Drew Eisenman.
Yep, and then it's another 2 or 3 seconds back to James Holzer, Thomas Sherman, and more back in this field a little bit. Jared Mogard is among that group that's in this third pack. Myhand has been able to stick in this third pack, but he is not particularly fast anymore, I think, without those tires. Up front, here comes Matthew Weeks. Trying to get to the outside of Jared Rexing, help from Austin Beers. But Weeks not able to enter turn 1. We saw it in the times that Rexing and Tate both made moves late, was the outside lane works really well in turns 3 and 4 if you can hold it up there. Once you get into turn 1, it just doesn't seem to work all that well.
Yeah, that bottom line definitely the preferred line to be. Now it looks like maybe a 3-car breakaway here just a little bit.
Tate Lytle hung it up on the high side trying to follow Weeks and Beers, and that just got him passed by Darling and Sobel. Side by side for second up here, Weeks and Rexing going at it.
That battle will bring everybody else back to the front. Beer's going to lead him, but he got really loose out of 2 there. able to bring that 64 car back in.
Here comes Weeks again, but just no help up top. Now Darling after Beers. Ooh, Beers loose off the corner. And all this jostling in the front pack has brought the second pack in the group of Shift Esports Dodges right up to him. You've got Bayou, Rawls, and Burrell all coming forward. Burrell obviously a pro-edge Toyota, but he is following those Shift Dodges. 4 makes in this series. You see the Dodges up front of Campbell and Rexing. Toyota of Matthew Weeks, the Ford of Drew Eisenman, first Chevy in the race, Austin Beers in 6th. This is, I would say this is now a 13 car pack. And Darling underneath Weeks, help from Sobel. Christopher Darling flexing some muscles. He was good in his duel. I don't know that he was race winning good in the duel, but maybe he was holding back a little bit, trying to make sure he raced his way into the field, up to 3rd already and looking very strong in that 13 car. Damian Leininger pulling it off there in the 12 car.
Back to single file here. These got most of the group back together. Scott Crump leading the second group that's a few seconds back.
Oh, Darling in the wall. Chris Darling drifts it up to the fence. That brings Josh Sobel up to 3rd. We've got Rich Sobel in the chat. I'm wondering if that's Josh's dad, Josh's brother, either one. Josh having a really good run here up in 3rd place.
Darling's still trying to hang on to it. He's going to lose another spot here to Beers, and here comes Bayou to the inside. He'll check up and let him in. Darling will fall to the 8th position after running in the top 3.
One simple little mistake can really change your track position rather drastically in this car. It almost runs like a short track where there's kind of one lane. You get up out of that lane, and ooh, big moment for Josh Sobel. He saves it, and keeps that 3rd spot. The 76 car very loose.
Well, we've had one caution, and everyone came down pit road. We are a quarter of the way through our race here already. 25 down, 75 to go.
Burrell going around Sobel. Sobel got loose there, and that scared those Pro-Edge Toyotas. Those guys all jumped underneath him. It's going to send Sobel back to the middle group of this field. He'll probably tuck in right there, right in front of Austin Beers. On board with Gerald Campbell. He's been the dominant car so far tonight. Rexing right up behind him, and those two have been working together as teammates. Rather flawless so far.
You're going to catch Jordan Owens here, who's running behind pace, and they'll blow right by him on the inside.
You're gonna have to watch. Lapped cars are not going to have a whole lot of room. This car's a lot bigger than some of the other cars we run, and the guys who are running fast are using more track, I think, than you would in another car on this speedway. So, ooh, Weeks got into Rexing, and man, that 11 car has been very aggressive with the front bumper, and all that has allowed Ethan Burrell to jump up to the outside.
I was watching those two guys behind him. I thought Weeks and Burrell were going to team up and go to the outside. They took a look earlier, but then after Rexing and Weeks got together, Burrell had the momentum, took it to the outside, and just left Weeks behind. Now it looks like they're trying to team up again if Burrell can catch back up to Weeks here as he's fallen off just a little bit.
Weeks trying to go around Jared Rexing, preventing another challenge to those aggressive Eagle Esports dodges. Tough to make passes on the outside if those tires aren't worn, but Burrell up there shoving his teammate, and now those Toyotas trying to battle those dodges. Weeks going for the lead.
Wouldn't be surprised if Tate Lytle jumps up there with his manufacturer partners and tries to push the Toyotas to the front, but now Burrell will tuck back down to the bottom line, and there they go to the top now here down the backstretch.
Burrell shoved somebody around in the duel with a push that was too close, but this time a little bit off of that 11 car, and Weeks able to hold serve with Rexing there underneath. 3 and 4 is where that outside lane really does work. And now Weeks has the run. I don't know if he's going to be able to get to the outside of Gerald Campbell, though. He does clear Rexing, and he's got Burrell there with him. Side by side for the lead, but turn 1, not really the place to be on the outside.
Rexing looking to slide up there. Now Burrell will tuck in side by side. Weeks might have it down the backstretch. Campbell got a little loose.
Campbell got loose. Weeks to the lead, trying to take his teammate Burrell with him. I think Weeks is going to have to just drive it to the bottom, though. They split up. They took the lead from those two. It took them several laps now. I think 4 laps of effort trying to get the lead to the 11 car. How quickly will the Dodgers be able to get it back? Now Burrell and Lytle together up top, and Rexing down on the bottom.
Our third different leader here of the race, Matthew Weeks to the point now.
Weeks led a lot of laps as Burrell clears for third. Tate almost hit the wall. I think he didn't hit it, but it was really close. Weeks led a lot of laps in his duel that Rexing passed him 4 and 1. That was an impressive performance, and he's been really working at this car. I'm willing to bet Matthew Weeks is right where he wants to be right now. The leader didn't win either duel on the white flag lap, but I still think you want to be out there just from danger's perspective.
Lytle gonna fall back and lose a couple more spots as Beers and Darling team up to go around him on the inside.
Rexing hit the wall? He might have popped it off the fence there. He didn't lose any speed, so maybe not, but it's getting really hairy. Tate Lytle and Beers are really close side by side back there for 6th place. 5-car breakaway here up at the front. Sobel is tagged on to those 4 leaders that have been battling. Campbell to the bottom.
We're all gonna go with him, and he'll power move there to the inside by Campbell. He'll reclaim the lead. So now you got the Dodges split up between the 2 Toyotas. Rexing back and forth, and you stick Weeks and Burrell in the middle of him and Campbell.
Sobel's just kind of riding, I think. I think he's been able to ride his way up to where he is now. These two are going to wreck each other. Oh, man. Weeks and Campbell bouncing off each other. I think Campbell threw a block that time.
Burrell's loose.
Weeks loose. Wow. Wow. Driver control by those two to keep that thing straight and steady. Brought the whole field right back to him, though.
That could have been a big one.
Oh, man. That was from 2nd and 3rd. The rate of speed these cars are carrying, it's going to be difficult to slow down and stop, but here we go. Oh, Rexing hit the 37 car. Came down and bounced off of the 11. Those two have been able to maintain. Tate Lytle and Austin Beers just blew past Josh Sobel for that 5th position. Move Sobel back to 7.
Here goes Burrell after Campbell here for the race lead. Pestered him down low. Now try to jump to the outside. Campbell goes with him and will tuck back in line as the front four try to break away once again.
Ethan Burrell trying to complete it, but the yellow is out. And Josh Clark has crashed in the 28, among others. Mostly, though, I think this is somewhat of a solo spin for the Chick-fil-A Toyota here. It's going to get Thomas Sherman, and that's about it. Oh, and took Joe Francis with him as well. So they'll come around here. I believe Dallas Myhan was trying to pit that lap. So lap 34, that's about how long they can go on fuel, or I guess until their tires explode. Clark had already been around. Johnny Thomas gets a little net code with Sherman. Francis is going to get into the wall trying to avoid it. I think that's all the damage. And Josh Clark definitely done for the day. The big hit there. I wonder if he felt like Mogard was going to pinch him and tried to adjust for it, but regardless, just pounds the wall, spinning this 28 car. Johnny Thomas, very lucky to miss it, and very lucky that was net code that he hit Thomas Sherman with instead of the right front of that car.
Everybody coming down pit road once again.
Oh yeah, 100%. These guys are definitely going to come get tires. They saw what happened to Dallas Myhan that last time. Myhan might actually, it'll work out for him here. I think he'll get the wave around, as he is a lap down after having to pit, but he'll be okay. Like Ryan Lutz parked in the same pit box as Jared Rexon. It's because we have 44 cars. We have guys using the same pit box. Anyway, I think we had some pit strategy that time. I believe that our Clash winner has taken the lead on a fuel-only stop. And I think we're going to see a repeat of what we saw last time with Dallas Myhan. This is I think this is going to show off that it's not worth it. Myhan had a few more laps on his tires, but I don't think it really matters. I think if you go any length of time without burning up these tires, they're going to be so much slower than a fresh set.
How about Dylan Thomas comes out of pit road there in the 7th position after having that contact in our first caution. Able to make his way up a little bit.
That car is still damaged. I wonder if he's going to come down and try to get some more repairs. It's like Adams is actually going to come back down pit road. So is Dylan Thomas. So maybe those guys missed their pit stall. Maybe they just want to, lead a lap. I think that might have been maybe Adams's ploy there. Grab an extra point while you can. Go drop back to the back. Try to ride around. Dodge some wrecks. Keep your stuff in one piece. Be there at the end. So that'll turn the lead back over to Gerald Campbell. Ethan Burrell second. Jared Rexing third. Matthew Weeks fourth. Tate Lytle will be fifth. Austin Beers sixth. Andy Cherupiano is in 7th spot. Christopher Darling is 8th. Matthew Bayuk 9th. Josh Sobel is 10th. That'll re-rack them here. We've lost several cars. Didn't notice that anybody came to the infield care center. Damian Leininger was out early. He probably very frustrated after running top 5 in his duel. Curse of the 12 lives on. My hand ends up stuck one lap down, so that just really did not work out for him. But if he's able to get a quick caution, he can get a lucky dog. Just outside the top 10, by the way, are Seth Rawls and Scott Crump.
Another one to watch out for there, the 51 of Scott Crump.
See if he can move his way through the field a little bit. He's made it all the way up to that 12th position. Here we go. Pace car off once again. Gerald Campbell bringing him down.
Big restart here for Campbell and Rexing on the inside line. Burrell did not get that good of a restart. He'll tuck in, so will Weeks. Beers might be stuck on the outside here. He'll have to wait till Lytle gets by on the inside before he can drop down if that door doesn't close.
Beers just getting hung out now. Trupiano jumping his inside. And up to the outside is Ethan Burrell. He's looking for second on Jared Rexing. Not going to be anything. They stay single file. This pack much bigger now that the gaps have been filled in by the caution.
That 37 car Burrell is looking very aggressive here today. Wants to get out to the race lead. He's hesitating to make that outside line work quite yet. He helped push Weeks up to the front, but has not been able to get it to work for himself yet.
Yeah, I think it requires a little bit of teamwork here, especially when you've got those teammates running the bottom lane. Those two are really controlling this race in Campbell and Rexing, and I'm willing to bet they had this plan all along and how they were going to control this thing and run up front together. Very difficult to pass two cars when you could only normally pass one.
They pulled away here by 0.4 of a second already. Little two-car breakaway up front. Teammates got them hooked up together.
Tate Lytle and Austin Beers are going back and forth there for 5th place.
Well, that's gone on. That's allowed Weeks and Burrell to pull away slightly from them as well.
Slightest little bit of jostling and side-by-side racing slows down both lanes so much that it'll either bring the pack back to the front group, or it immediately allows those front cars that are running single file to pull away. Oh, one in the wall in the back. The Dodges. It was James Holzer. Bounced it off the fence. That 17 car has not been nearly as good as it was on Thursday in those dual races last week.
Side-by-side battle here, really the first side-by-side battle in the top 10. That's Beers and Sobel. Now they'll single file out. They're still side-by-side. Everyone else single filed out behind them.
Beers has been running that top by choice. A lot of these guys just content to run on the bottom, trying to save their stuff, work their way forward, not make any mistakes. Beers has been trying to make the outside work, and right now seems like he's starting to go backwards. Sobel is clear of Beers. Now Darling going after him. I am really impressed with the job that Campbell and Rexing are doing up front. As Beers cuts it down to the bottom, he's going to get spun. Beers spins it out. He's going to collect a couple more. Mark Whitley in the wall. Francis involved. Key spins while trying to avoid him. Not the best move by the 64 car. That looked to me like he was trying to force it down to the bottom. And that you can't do that in the car like this, where the suck is so much that there's nothing Darling can do at that point. He takes out Rawls. Ryan Lutz is going to get a piece of this. Turner. Sherman's in it. A lot of cars involved in this one. This is a semi-big one here. Holzer's got some damage. Heater's got more damage. Nick and Delicato has a bunch of damage. Let's take a look here. Beer's just not clear. Comes down. There's the hit to Rawls. There's the hit to Lutz. Whitley. Massey going through the grass. Yeah, that's clear in an Xfinity car, but with this car at 220 miles an hour, when you get in behind another car, it sucks up so quickly. That's not clear. It's tough though. Darling maybe could have backed out of it a little there, but certainly wouldn't have felt like it if I was in the 13's position. Let's see if the 21 hits anything. He spun to avoid. Looks like he was okay. Maybe he has a little damage in the rear. Ooh, right there. Big hit by Hank Steinmiller. So that I didn't tally the 63. But he clobbers the 21. Delicato go flying through there. It is tough to slow these cars down. They're so big. Good job here. There's Darling getting spun. Jared Darling. That was Jared Mogard we were on board with. Oh, it was Adams we were on board with. And then hit there. I can't even tell who that is. Here's Dallas Myhan's view. Needed to get through this incident free to get a lucky dog. Nope. On the brakes, loss of control. 1X. Big wreck. See Shandura. Sliding down the track. Go right at the end. Gets the 10 car. Dylan Thomas is spun as well. My goodness, a huge wreck here. I mean, that's tallying up close to 20 drivers involved in that one. The look from the one of Jared Darling as his brother sets it off. In the front, Ryan Lutz heads to the apron. Darling's going to clip Seth Rawls right there. I think he's going to get Ryan Lutz in the right rear right there. I think Lutz is going to get out of this without more damage than that, though. Which, that's pretty fortunate, but that means that there's fewer cars to come up and challenge this front 7 or 8 who are all damage-free right now. So I believe everyone would have come to pit road, though if we're limiting tires, I'm willing to bet a lot of them stayed out. To check how many tire sets they have. 7 tire limits in the race there, but looks like everybody stayed out for the most part up until the damaged cars. So Ryan Lutz would be your first car that it would have pitted. And that'll re-rack it with Gerald Campbell in the lead, his teammate Jared Rexing underneath.
Lights out on the pace car. We're ready to go back racing once again. We'll see if the teammates can pair up here again. Campbell gonna lead us back to the green flag. He'll instantly dive on down and pick up his teammate Rexing on the bottom line and leave Weeks up top.
I think those Pro Edge teammates will work away for Weeks to get down in between them there. Unless Matthew Weeks wants to stay up there and try to bypass Jared Rexing up on top. We got some funky looking cars in the mid-pack here. James Heater's running with a very crumpled front nose, but he's able to make time. I've heard these COT cars are very sturdy, very durable. able to take some damage and keep on ticking.
How about a car we haven't really mentioned too much, but all of a sudden finds himself in the 4th position? Andrew Trupiano has jumped up here into the mix.
Yep, he was good in his dual race, and now he is just shot up to the top 5 here through this wreck. Him and Matthew Bayou really starting to make some noise. Scott Crump's damage-free. He's up into the 7th position. And all of a sudden, you know, Ryan Lutz might have taken tires there because that car has come zooming through the field. Just blew past James Heater. He'll be into the top 10.
Burrell's finally got a buddy up there on the top line now as Trupiano goes up there to try to help him. It might not work out for him as he's going to fall. There's Lido pushed down below double yellow line. He'll come back up, and that's right behind.
I'm not sure if Tate blocked Lutz or just got loose exiting 4. Either way, Tate went to the apron, to the grass, and Lutz went flying past.
Well, Lutz is about to fly past all these leaders here except Ethan Burrell, who might block his line.
Lutz has fresh tires. He has to. That car is very quick right now, running just 41.7. Last lap, the leaders were running 42.2. Ryan Lutz just absolutely flying through the field. His job right now is to not run somebody over and wreck anybody.
Well, Bayuk almost had that happen. He jumped up there originally, had to dive back down and wait to get clear before he could get up there and stop Lutz.
Andy Trupiano just cut Matthew Weeks a break. Almost had another wreck there. And they're going to get into each other. Bayuk and Rexing almost touch.
I'm watching Ryan Lutz up here on this top side, though. He's all over Bayuk and dove to the bottom here.
Lutz looking for some running room. He just needs a way around. That car much faster in the center of the corners than the 29. By the way, all this, Ethan Burrell took the lead.
Burrell finally gets around to the race lead. He's going to add our 4th different leader here of the day.
Matthew Bayuk into 3rd. And Campbell to the top. That moves Bayuk heads to the bottom. Rexing might get into him there. Ooh, close racing in Europe in the top 5. Rexing Campbell on the wall. Gerald Campbell throws it away. At least for now. Oh, another one hard in the wall. Holzer's going to spin. That'll bring out the caution. Ethan Burrell had the lead. Ryan Lutz drove all the way to 2nd. James Holzer's night may be done. That was a pretty hard hit. Looks like no one else got into it. That may be the first single car incident of the day. Roger Chandura made that false. Let's see what happened here. I think I know, though. I think it was all Gerald Campbell there at the front of the field, bouncing it off the fence, entering turn number 1. And then Holzer, did he get sent by Eisenman?
I think he got a little bit of a tap there from the inside. If it was Eisenman, that's who it would be. But that car just rocketed to the right.
I might have been Crump, actually. Now that I look at it, because Crump checked and started darting to the right here. No, I think he just saw them looking like they were about to wreck, and he turned it right, hit the wall. Tate Lytle, very fortunate. Sobel, very fortunate to get through this. Bogard almost clobbers the 17. Ooh, Dylan Thomas heading to the bottom. He misses it. I think everybody missed it except for Zishan. I think Zishan just spun, avoiding it. Cameron Rich taking the narrow path there. Let's see if these guys head down pit road.
We have crossed the halfway point as well, so into the 2nd half of the race now.
I do believe we get a halfway bonus there. You get a halfway point, and Ethan Burrell would have led that. Looks like Lutz is going to go ahead and come down pit road. Bayou just totally passed Lutz. Yeah, he's got to give that spot back, whether or not you get a black flag.
Lutz decided very late to come down pit road.
Yeah, tough, because I think Lutz knows. I think Lutz knows that he's going to have a tough time holding that lead and holding that track position. So even if he's down a set of tires, I think that's okay as long as he is able to hold it. But Eisenman's first off pit road. That cannot be a 4-tire stop from the 66. Cameron Rich off pit road into the top 5 as well. So another pit stop of non four tires there. Looks like we had a couple guys stay out as well. Probably in Hanshaw and Johnny Thomas. There they are.
All right, well, we get them stacked up here to get ready to go back with our second half of racing. We're taking a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the second half of this Harpoon Designs 250.
You want to be the best. You can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that McConey Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McConey Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to Belly Up Sports TV and brought to us by 3 Wide TV. Dom Santina up here in the booth with David Westergreen. 53 laps down, 47 to go here in the Harpoon Design 250 to start season 3 of ERSCA. Race leader is the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw. Johnny Thomas going to join him on the front rows. We get ready to see the green flag drop once again.
If Ryan Lutz taught us anything about that last run, you want to have 4 fresh tires. Hanshaw, Johnny Thomas, Drew Eisenman, these guys are going to fall back in a hurry. And I wonder if that may cause some shenanigans amongst this front group if guys get a little too aggressive with some of these slower cars.
Judd Campbell has dominated most of the race out front. We've seen Burrell, we've seen Weeks. We saw Robbins, our pole sitter, lead the opening few laps before getting in a wreck, ending his night. Since then, it's been the 31 car controlling it. Eisenman almost just took Lutz out there.
Ooh, Drew Eisenman is in a bad spot right there. Older tires. Ryan Lutz, last year's champion, drops it underneath Kyle Hanshaw, and he'll take the lead.
Didn't take long for the defending champ to find his spot out front once again. That 36 Dodge out front and pulling away here on lap 55.
Jared Rexing right in behind, Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks. Those guys all have 4 fresh tires. And then behind them, it's Scott Crump, who emerges in a top 5 spot. Maybe a little crinkle on the front nose of that 51 car, but seems like it's none the worse for wear. He's charged up through the field. Trupiano there in 6th. Tate Lytle has broken free from the pack. He'll also join this front pack in 7th. Cameron Rich is starting to make his way towards the front and start making some noise.
And he had to have some trouble on pit road. Campbell back in the 13th position outside the top 10 after leading most of this one.
Campbell hit the wall earlier. I'm willing to bet he tried to fix that damage as Jared Rexing cuts it to the outside. He'll drive around Ryan Lutz. Maybe he might be able to complete. Ethan Burrell gave him the push, but abandons him and heads back to the bottom. Now Burrell to the top side, and they try to gang up on Ryan Lutz. At the line, Rexing leads that lap.
Lutz gonna get some help. Gonna get some help on the bottom. Here comes Weeks and Lytle on the inside line.
Ryan Lutz unwilling to give up that lead. We know anything about Ryan Lutz, it's that he runs extremely hard and tries to lead every single lap. But man, Rexing's going for it. Lutz trying to fight back on the inside. Matthew Weeks trying to give a little shove to the 36 car.
Rexing doing a good job up top, though, holding on up there by himself.
Scott Crump to fourth, bypassing Ethan Burrell. 51 car starting to get up into this top group and make some noise. See if he has anything for these dodges. Still side by side for that second position. Matthew Weeks really trying to get clear of Jared Rexing. Rexing now up there without his dancing partner Gerald Campbell has been a little bit more vulnerable, it seems. Campbell is trying to get back up to him. He is in 10th in the 31 car.
And well, now Crump gets into the third position for the time being, but 4th through 7th was 4 Toyotas. Or 3rd through 7th was 4 Toyotas, broken up by Trupiano, with Weeks, Crump, Burrell, and Lytle. If they can all get together, they might be able to make a little run together, but Lytle's fallen off just a little bit here.
Tate may be, I'm wondering if Tate's holding back as Crump blinks out completely there for a second, and that'll probably warrant a warning from the stewards. Johnny Eckert, a race control admin up there watching over it. He's very astute on these types of incidents where cars are blinking out. Very quick to warn the driver, and if it doesn't stop, request that the driver back out of the pack so they don't cause a bigger incident. Like what we saw with Nick and Delicato, but that was late in the race, 2 or 3 laps to go. Kind of difficult for a driver to adhere to a policy like that with so little time left in the race. Rexing clears to the bottom, and he's going to go for the lead on Lutz. That was a big move by Jared Rexing. Got a huge run. And now Lutz is going to be stuck side by side with Matthew Weeks. So I'm wondering if Lutz maybe overdrove that 36 car a little bit and lost the tires on it. Because all of a sudden he's back in 3rd. Might even lose that to Ethan Burrell. Defending champ back to 4th.
Once those tires go, you can see how fast they'll fade throughout the pack. We've seen it multiple times already. Fresh tires are well-conserved tires.
A challenge for the lead. Matthew Weeks was trying to go to the outside of Rexing. Ethan Burrell and Weeks really working together. It was Campbell and Rexing working the best up front. Now your 2 teammates are 2nd and 3rd.
Well, Rexing may just have to wait for just a bit longer because the 31 has entered the top 10. He's just trying to find a way to make his way through the rest of the field. But he's found a snag a little bit as the top 12 have gone single file. And Campbell's held up behind Lytle and Bayuk at the moment.
And Campbell definitely is being aggressive there as here come the Pro Edge Toyotas to the outside. Matthew Weeks might clear Rexing there. Nope. Drifts up, gets a little bit tight, has to let off the gas a little bit further. They'll have to hope for a run off the corner. Rexing clears to the top. Burrell now to the bottom, and Weeks cuts in underneath as well. Single file once again. And I look back and I don't think some of these guys like Tate Lytle really pushing all that hard just yet. This is not money time. We still got 37 laps to go, at least one more pit stop. Some of these guys have been racing hard from the drop of the green flag, like Matthew Weeks, like Jared Rexing. I think right now, guys like Campbell, Tate Lytle, they're going to sit back and wait as Weeks jumps to the lead with getting the push from Ethan Burrell.
So Weeks regains his lead that he led for a couple laps. Burrell just got really loose coming out of the corner. Might have tapped the wall just a little bit, but gets that 37 car back under control.
These cars are really on the edge of control. These guys are cracking the throttle. They are not full out wide open. And in a place like Daytona, that is absolutely absurd. A lot of horsepower in these things. Very, very sketchy. We've seen them. Oh, Lutz gets into Rexing. They're trying to wreck it down the back straightaway, but it really just gave a shot to Rexing and sent him up to the back bumper of the 11.
Now Burrell going to lose quite a few positions as Lutz got by him there in that moment. And now here comes Crump to the inside with Trupiano giving him the push.
Andy Trupiano, that 7 car, that's an impressive run for somebody who we haven't really seen any part of. You know, all these guys up here tend to be the veterans of the ERSCA series. All a bunch of guys running in the chase, and if they weren't, it's Jared Rexing, who, while a rookie to the ERSCA series, is a longtime elite competitor who's run with these guys forever. But Trupiano's not, and he's looking just as strong as the rest of these guys. As Lutz to the bottom of Rexing, 36 car, last year's champ, back up into the runner-up spot.
And Rexing's been moved up the track. He's lost 2 spots already as Lutz gets by. Now here comes Crump, and Trupiano going to give the push as well. Burrell will tuck down in front of Lytle in line, and we'll see how far Rexing goes here.
It's funny, because if I were to make a comment, a gasp of some sort, on every time these guys get super loose off the corner, I wouldn't have said anything else the whole rest of it. It's been like, oh man, there's a moment, oh, there's another moment. Several times now, and it was Scott Crump coming off of 4 last time. These guys have just crossed 3 lanes of traffic, kept it straight, no problem. Scott Crump into 3rd, clears Jared Rexing, might even try. Oh, we got into Crump, and Crump's going to take Rexing with him. Big crash behind.
And they're going to pile it up after Burrell just put Lytle into the wall. Bayuk spinning to the infield.
Oh, Lytle's got a bunch of damage. Burrell has heavy damage. That might have just handed this race to one of the front 2 right now. What an incredible turn of events there. Just as I was talking about Scott Crump, 51 car gets just the littlest tap from Jared Rexing, and around they went.
Well, and I was watching Lytle and Burrell after that wreck, and they held it together once, and it looked like they might have, or were going to be able to come out of it, and then at the last second they lost it, and Burrell put both of them into the wall.
Just, man, oh, it is that close. And I think those guys were in mid-wreck there trying to get back on the track too. We're gonna have to get a different look at the front of that wreck. It was just this tiny tap on this little tiny checkup by Crump because he got a little tight in the center of the corner, and he tries to overcorrect it. When he does, he comes up and just gets dual 1 winner Jared Rexing.
Right in the door panel.
It's on from there. We'll see Burrell and Lytle. They've already made contact, you see there. And now Lytle and Burrell's contact happens again. Sobel piles into Bayuk. He's going to pound the wall. Lytle in the wall hard. Burrell in the wall hard.
I think through all that, though, with Bayuk spinning behind him, Burrell and Lytle spinning in front of him, Campbell got through there without any damage.
And Campbell's going to be 4th. So, yeah, you know, just among the guys who've been running well, I mean, that took out both of our dual winners. So here's from Sobel. Crash, checking. Oh, and just nowhere to go. Piles into Mount Bayuk. Damage might not be too severe for the 76, but I think he's going to probably, his chance to win this race likely over. Weeks is first off pit road, followed by Lutz and then Trupiano, and then Campbell after that. So those 4 retain their spots. I think Campbell has a little damage. Bayuk might be okay if he can get that rear straightened out. He knows that car is clean, so it'll cut through the air just as well as it did before, but the air flowing over the back might change the way that it handles. You know who's just arrived into the top 5? We haven't talked about him all day. Drives the 48 car, Nick Massey. No scratches, it appears, on that 48. He looks perfectly clean. He may have arrived to announce his presence to the rest of the field. He's no longer the defending champ. Called him that last year, but now that's Ryan Lutz. Massey is the 2020 ERSCA champion.
Well, another car that's in the top 10, we've mentioned him briefly, but now really making an appearance is Cameron Rich in 7th as well. So another car that can get up here and battle for the win.
So I was watching Cameron Rich on that last run, and that car is badly damaged. I don't know when it happened, but he's got a bunch of nose damage, and it's not running nearly as fast. When I look through this field, I'm only seeing 5 cars with no damage. I'm only seeing Weeks. I guess whoever's in front of Weeks there, but I'm seeing Weeks, Lutz, Trupiano, Campbell, and Massey. Steinmiller is 6th. He has a good bit of damage on the nose. He plowed into somebody in the big wreck. Rich, Darling, they were involved in stuff. Sherman's been in the wall a number of times. Heater the same. You know, those guys are going to be able to sort out a decent finish perhaps, but I'm kind of thinking this is a 5-car race.
All right, David, since we didn't make our pick at the beginning like we did all last year with 30 to go, who do you got?
Oh man, it's not really fair now. I know it's between 5 guys, but give me the guy who's been hanging back. Give me Nick Massey.
All right.
I think he's been holding something away from these guys, and he'll be right there come crunch time. Of course, you know I say that. You know, all it takes is Weeks and Lutz to tangle together, not something that's never happened before. And, you know, these guys with damaged cars running off of them, dodge the wreck. Stranger things have happened.
All right, I'm going to go with Campbell. He's starting on the outside of row 2 here. He's looked fast all day, worked his way back up after getting into the wall. I think that 31 car has still got it here, hanging in the 4th position.
Of course. Though I do think that car is pretty heavily damaged. We'll see if he can maybe catch a break here and get lucky, I suppose. New faces up here at the front. Green flag coming out once again. The one constant is that Matthew Weeks has been up here all day long.
And we just heard it in our ears. The viewers didn't really get to hear it on the stream or anything, but the other constant is that Carlos is going with Cameron Rich, which is who he went with all last season.
Elite race was a full distance race that had a number of cautions in it, so I'll be here earlier and we can get our picks in a little earlier next time, and they'll be more rock solid. The undamaged cars single out, and Hank Steinmiller's up on top.
I was thinking about taking him, but this might open the door here. Trupiano into the 2nd position in that 7 car, right behind Weeks. He's been riding around a little bit. Now he's looking to try to make a move for the race lead.
First-time ERSCA winner. That would certainly be something. I think that actually Matthew Weeks would be a first-time ERSCA winner. He's been around a little bit, but I think he was a rookie last year technically, and never won a race, but he was up there in a lot of them. Led a lot of laps at Darlington. Some of these damaged cars really hanging tough with those undamaged guys. I think Jared Darling in 6th. That Casey's Ford really stout right in there behind Nick Massey. Seems like he's able to keep up with him rather well. Rich there, Thomas Sherman. I just think it's going to be tough for these guys with damage to hold it up with some of these guys without damage through the course of a run. As those tires wear, that damage is going to grow all that much more apparent. If these front 5 are smart, they're going to not race each other and try to pull away from these damaged cars and ensure all of them get a top 5. Of course, look who's in there. They're going to be racing.
I think everybody's riding here for about the next 10 laps or so. Now we're going to get ready to go. It's going to get real exciting here real quick. These guys are going to start to get aggressive as the laps count down here.
I think that they're going to need to pit again. It is possible that they can make it. I know Dallas Myhan went 34 laps earlier, but you know, we're at 27 to go right now, and we just went green, what, 4 or 5 laps ago. It's going to be close as to whether or not you can make it. That's for sure.
I think, David, it's pretty safe to say I have a good feeling that we're not going to go green all the way to the finish. So I think there's going to be opportunities for these guys to pit at least once, maybe a couple of times, and pit strategy might actually come into play here during this one.
Yeah, and I think the play is going to be 4 tires. We saw how quickly Ryan Lutz carved through the field. There's definitely going to be guys who try to stay out, especially if the caution does come out. Because there's not really anything to lose if you're already mid-pack at this point. I mean, this is Daytona. You got to try to win it if you can. But, you know, the way Lutz carved through the field, I think there's no chance that the 4 tires isn't the correct call. Pretty much no matter what. You know, once we get down to a couple of laps to go, perhaps the old tires will be okay. Trupiano trying to wreck it from second there, coming off of turn 4. I'm trying not to react to them all, but... I am impressed with Jerry Darling. Darling, Thomas Sherman, Cameron Rich, Drew Eisenman, and Johnny Thomas have some beaten and battered race cars lined up nicely, running in the top 10, and they're not letting this front group of undamaged cars get away. Looking back at Kyle Hanshaw, Dallas Myhan, Josh Sobel, he's still up here. We have 32 cars on the lead lap. Challenge for second, Ryan Lutz. He's going to do a quick rundown. Ryan Lutz ignoring that. He's going for second on Trupiano. Got help from Gerald Campbell. The Dodgers teaming up to take over that second spot from the Chevrolet. And one in the wall. That might be a caution. That car could be spinning. Yep, that's going to be a crash. It's going to be a caution. I think Dylan Thomas is that one.
Thomas came down the track hard. Had to involve a couple other cars there.
We just saw Kyle Hanshaw, and he got clobbered in that one. 77 Mark Whitley gets clobbered in this one. And then a big hit for Tate Lytle.
Right there. And then when he bounces off, yeah, big hits coming back.
James Heater.
Down the track.
James Heater, the outside pole sitter, got some big damage as well. And then Hanshaw clobbers into the wall trying to avoid him. All that was while Ryan Lutz took second away. Harrison Talon just mentioned me and said to check out his onboard. And I think that's going to be that red car right there behind Whitley. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to check out what old Harry Talon saw there. That's a good one. Big dodge. Heater, the one who really hits into Thomas, and then Hanshaw into the wall there. It's like Josh Adams maybe avoiding it there. No, it's Brandon Key in it.
Oh, he had just hit 25 to go, so we'll go back green somewhere around 20 to go.
Here it is. Down into Whitley and up. Missed it. Oh, that's just a pucker moment right there. You just got to hold the gas and pray. And everybody heading to pit road. This could be the final stop of the day for all these guys up front. Though, as I said, I would take 4 tires. I think that's been proven to be the best route for success in this race. Eisenman takes it first off. I think he went with another strategy call. Will Lutz beat Weeks out? No, Weeks beats Lutz out, I think. Just barely. And then Brandon Key. Oh, and Key spins Lutz. I don't think that was definitely not intentional. I don't think that's going to result in any spots for Lutz. I think he'll be allowed to move back up, but he might get an EOL for crossing the line. and I don't know if even if you clear it, that will allow Lutz to retain his spot in second.
It's going to be interesting to find out for sure here.
Ryan Lutz is not happy about that. That was just a crowded little exit of pit road. Brandon Key minding his own business out there, I think. Let's see if he turns down or anything. No, Lutz just came up the track. Yeah, pushes out into the track, and they're side by side. I'm sure he didn't know that, but still. A weird pit exit there for Ryan Lutz, that's for sure. Avoids any serious contact. If he's allowed to come back to second, I think he'll be all right. But it looks like they are going to put him back up in second. We'll see if Eckert is able to clear that black flag and let him retain his running order spot. But my goodness, a freak incident there. Hank Steinmiller stayed out. 63 car, probably, I would say, making a mistake. And then Eisenman will be second. Weeks will be third. Lutz is going to restart fourth, so that will be all right. Brandon Key fifth, despite that contact. Campbell sixth. Trupiano seventh. Massey eighth. Sherman ninth. Cameron Rich 10th. Josh Clark recovering from that hard crash to 11th. 31 cars on the lead lap now. James Holzer, the last of those. 36 cars, 35 cars still on track. A lot of those having damage. And it's really going to boil down to just a couple of guys with damage and fresh tires here, or with no damage and fresh tires here. I'm not even sure why Eisenman would have come down pit road if he just got no tires. He must have two. Steinmiller, I don't know what Steinmiller's doing. He's trying something, I suppose. It's going to work out for his teammate in that 36. Actually, I don't think they're teammates in this series. They're not. Steinmiller just trying something, trying to get the benefit of a quick caution. Here we go. Neither front cars goes particularly quickly. Lutz is going to try to drop to the bottom early, and he will. Trupiano jumped underneath Key. Oh, man, that's going to be close. Hank pulls it off. Older tires, wise move. Weeks, Lutz, Campbell, Massey to the top five. Bayou to fifth now. So this really hurt Trupiano. Out of anyone, Trupiano falls back the farthest. And he'll have to come back up through the field. Jostling around. I think Trupiano might have gone below the yellow line there. Back in the field trying to make his way up, trying to be aggressive. He knows he's got the best car remaining, or one of them.
Inside 20 laps left to go here in this one.
Massey to the outside of Gerald Campbell. 48 car making a move. Campbell's going to get into Lutz. Campbell ruins Lutz. Oh, and a huge crash behind him. And that is all, man, oh man, a huge wreck still happening. Can't help but feel like Gerald Campbell just absolutely spun Ryan Lutz. We'll have to take another look at it.
He got to the inside of him, and after Lutz goes around, Campbell actually does a really good job of not putting his own car into the wall from the contact.
Boy, what a break for Matthew Weeks.
Campbell took a look to the inside. I don't know if it's Campbell getting into Lutz or if Lutz came down to block and Campbell was already there.
Lutz comes down and, oh, it's netcode. Oh, wow, it's netcode. My goodness. You know who sneaks through there is Cameron Rich, Johnny Thomas, Andy Trupiano, maybe Drew Eisenman. I can't tell if he got hit before that. Joe Francis is going to sneak through this. Massey's crushed. Lutz is crushed.
Jared Darling went for a heck of a ride on his roof.
Oh, yeah, big contact from Massey into Campbell. Bayuk's in it. Cameron Rich is going to have damage, even though he sneaks out to third here. Upside down goes Darling and into the fence. Does Mogart sneak through this? Maybe a little bit of contact to Lutz.
There goes Lytle around.
Lytle, Clark, Burrell piles right into it. Talon piles right into it. Sobel's going to pile in as well. I can't tell if Eisenman is just up there hanging out or if he pounded the fence first. I think my hand's going to make it through there. My hand's up to 7th, and I don't think that 26 car is going to have any damage. So my hand might yet have a part to play in this race. Oh, he's got a little damage on the right side, but still, I mean, all things considered. Here's the wild ride by Jared Darling and Bayuk into the wall as well. Up and over goes Darling, up and over goes Massey. Yeah, Eisenman hit the fence, but I think he's going to be fairly okay. James Heater's still running. He's up in the top 10 now. He avoided this thing. And Delicato avoided this thing. He's up in the top 10 with damage. Just a huge wreck. No time to react at all for Jared Darling. And he had really recovered well from getting involved in one of those wrecks earlier on. He was up in 6th. Sobel on board here. Checking, loose on the brakes, trying to get through, just nowhere to go. Because you're going 210 plus miles an hour into that corner, and you are both trying to dodge other cars and stop without spinning and losing control of your car. There goes somebody clobbering into Zishandura. That was James Holzer, still around in this one.
Well, David, you said Trupiano was in had a negative effect with him with the last caution. Well, that one definitely helped him back out. He's now back into the top 5, restarting on the inside of row number 3 here.
Yep, we only got a few guys left, I think, with an opportunity to win this thing and take it away from Matthew Weeks. Trupiano is definitely one of those cars. It's definitely in good shape. Matthew Weeks, though, hasn't been touched all day. The only contact I've seen that 11 car make with Ethan Burrell in turn 3 early on, and then he got into Josh Robin and set off the first incident of the day. But you've got Gerald Campbell in second. He's been in his fair share of incidents. Cameron Rich's car is somewhat destroyed. Jared Mogard might be okay. It's just a matter of we don't have any reference of idea of how damage affects these COT cars. You know, we haven't really run with them. Is the front damage bad? Is the back damage bad? The spoiler damage? Like, who knows? Mogard's got right side damage, but that seems to be it for that 0-0 car. And we know he's been up in the top 2 or 3 a couple of times, a chase driver last year. Certainly has the speed to win this race. Well, we do. 4 of them. Start bringing them up, Carlos, if you want to. We don't have very many laps to go, though. Maybe we'll get another quick caution and we can call them in. But here we go. Pace car's off. Matthew Weeks back to the lead and on the loud pedal. He goes early. I'm going to try to get Ryan Lutz here because he was the one spun in that wreck. Ryan Lutz, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Ryan, looked like netcode to me, man. What happened?
Yeah, just one of those racing deals. I had a really good car. It was in the right spot there, exactly where I wanted to be. It just didn't happen for us.
Yeah, tough break, buddy. Rockingham next week. How do you feel about that one, at least, to be able to maybe, get a little less chaos in there?
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be ready to win, just like we were this week.
Sounds good, buddy. Ryan Lutz, defending champion in the 36 car, unable to finish this one. Cameron Rich trying to block all the lanes as Mogard tries to go around him outside. Trupiano looking inside. I'm going to try to grab Nick Massey real quick. Nick Massey, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Nick, looked like you had nowhere to go there, man. What happened?
Yeah, I was trying to, finally got up there, missed all the wrecks, trying to make move on the high side, and first straightaway I pull out, all I see is Ryan Lutz T-boned in front of my car.
Yeah, tough break, man. Rockingham next week. You think you're going to be all right for that one? Maybe a little less chaos?
I don't know how these things are going to drive there. It's going to be interesting for sure, but hopefully a little less chaos. But those things were a blast to drive tonight, though, I'll tell you.
Yeah, sounds good, Nick. You take care, man, and hate it for you. Hate you got involved in that one.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Trying to go quick with these so that we can keep up with what's happening on track. Matthew Weeks just hanging out up in the lead. Cameron Rich, Trupiano, second and third. James Heaters up into fifth behind Gerald Campbell. Johnny Thomas's car looks relatively clean, and he's marching through the field up into eighth now, and maybe even up into seventh. I'm going to try to grab one more here. Harrison Talon next from the waiting room, from the infield care center, that is. Harrison Talon, you got me, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Tell us what you saw there, man. Looked like you had luck in one of them wrecks, and then the next one you kind of just got sucked into it.
Yeah, I think we used up all our luck in that first wreck, but really just nowhere to go. The whole entire track was blocked. Brakes were really hard to. It was really hard to get the car slowed down, especially in those wrecks. So having trouble getting the car slowed down, braking, and not having a clear track. Just really what happened there.
Yep. You think it's going to be all right next week at Rockingham?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll have a better run. Really, this race was it's a lot different than what any other plate tracks you would usually run with any of the newer cars. So it's definitely a learning curve, but it was definitely a really good race. Really fun out there.
Okay, man. Well, thanks a lot, Harry. Hope you have good luck next week.
Alrighty, thank you guys.
Harrison Talon. We got Mark Whitley and Matthew Bayuk there, but we're getting a battle for the lead. Andrew Trupiano is finally challenging Matthew Weeks. 10 laps to go in this one. Try to get him quick here as we go, but the racing really picking up. I'll get you guys if it simmers down a little bit. Drew Eisenman now challenging Trupiano for second, and I think that 66 car has fresher tires by maybe just a couple of laps than everybody else, because he didn't pit on that last caution, and he could go in and get those fresh tires this time. He's going to try to challenge Trupiano. Don't know if he's going to completely get there. He will. He's going to get alongside Weeks. Drew Eisenman going for the lead. Oh, he's going to get sideways and almost take Weeks out.
Campbell going to come with them to the outside here. 31 going to try to push that 66 car to the lead. Look who's sneaking into the inside. Now looking to maybe come through the middle. He might have some fresh tires too. How about Johnny Thomas?
P4, Johnny Thomas, a league owner. He'll be joining us in the booth. He's not running a full season, but he shoots to the high side. Johnny's looking racy here in this 83. That car looks pretty clean. Mark and Matthew, if you guys stick in the lobby, we'll get you if the caution comes out. I kind of feel like one's coming. These guys are racing really hard. Trupiano off the bottom, side saving it. Gerald
Campbell
sideways. Oh man, what a save by Gerald and Trupiano. Goodness gracious, these guys are running really hard.
Inside 10 to go. It's all there. It is. Eisenman with the run up top. I think he tapped the wall though. That's going to lose all his momentum.
You think he saw that car up top? Seth Rawls just trying to hang it out up there slow. Eisenman was going to make a run at Weeks. That isn't going to work. Johnny Thomas to third. Campbell to 4th, Rich to 5th. They're shuffling and racing hard now, and it's all behind Matthew Weeks. He's been able to hold serve on the bottom. No one's been able to pass him since Gerald Campbell and Jared Rexing. But now Thomas and Eisenman up to the top of the track. Eisenman will lead the lap. Can Eisenman clear Weeks as they squirt past Ethan Burrell?
He threaded the needle right there, sneaking underneath Burrell and in between Weeks. And I think if you put Thomas and Eisenman together, Weeks is gone.
Weeks gonna lose the lead and potentially the race there.
Johnny Thomas to the inside here with a run.
Johnny Thomas to the lead. Gerald trying to help him, and Johnny's in the lead. Eisenman and Weeks with contact on the back straightaway, and it gives the lead to Johnny Thomas. Mogard sideways off the corner. Here they come with 7 laps to go.
Campbell's going to get a run here.
Matthew Weeks fell to 18th. He's going to need a caution, and he's going to need to not be involved in it in order to get back into this one. Johnny Thomas flying away from this pack, running great lap times. Drew Eisenman in the wall, he falls back. Tate Lytle sneaking back into the picture here. Dallas Myhand is in it. James Holzer back into it in the 17 car. He's been involved in just about every wreck tonight.
Trupiano and Campbell got to run together, and that's what allowed Gerald to draw up on Johnny here as we come to 6 to go.
6 laps to go. It's Johnny Thomas, Gerald Campbell, Andy Trupiano, the top 3, and they have pulled away. And Johnny Thomas has stayed out back. He's been kind of silent, collected, waiting for his opportunity to make a move, and he has brought it to the front when it counts.
What a story this would be if Johnny can hold this one off.
I think Johnny pays himself the $100. How does that work? Oh yeah, do you think Johnny locks himself in? There's wild cards for race winners. Johnny could absolutely turn into a full season here and try to get into the championship hunt. Battle for 4th, Dallas Myhand trying to get underneath Cameron Rich. Nothing doing there. It's all single file behind Johnny Thomas. 5 laps to go.
Jared's going to have to find something here in the next couple laps. He's been closing in, but nothing even close enough to really challenge Johnny for the lead. He can't do it by himself. And Trupiano is still about another 2/10 back of Campbell. Then they're half a second ahead of Rich. So right now, if you're Johnny Thomas, this is the best situation for yourself right here. So keep these guys spread out a little bit.
Eisenman hit the wall again, drops back again. Tate Lytle bounced it off the fence as well. And if I'm Johnny Thomas, I do not want to see a yellow flag. He's praying that his league keeps it green. One more in the wall in the back. I think that's Michael Goodman. Everybody else is keeping it cool, single file. Mogard jumping past Eisenman. They're trying to wreck there for about 7th place. Johnny Thomas saying, please don't do that. Let me get this. Eisenman sideways. 66 save. Gerald Campbell's bearing down on Johnny. Help from the 7 car. It's a 3-car breakaway for the lead. Cameron Rich, I think, not really up to full power and kind of holding Dallas Myhand back. Coming to 3 to go now.
Back to the tri-oval. Johnny needs at least 2 more laps green here. Once they hit the stripe with the white flag out, they can wreck if they want to behind them. They'll race back to the stripe, but Trupiano and Campbell have teamed up here. They took a good look entering
They're
one.
crashing. There it is. The yellow's going to be out. They're going to get a green-white checkered here. Brandon Key wrecks it, the 21. And Johnny Thomas is going to have to sweat out a final restart. That does give Matthew Weeks an opportunity to get back into this one. I think you have to get tires here. I mean, you don't want to lose the lead. I don't. It's tough for you to pit out of the lead if you're Johnny Thomas, but I mean, tires. Ryan Lutz went from 11th to 2nd in 1 lap. I don't know. Track's going to be very crowded.
Is it a situation where everyone else does the opposite of what Johnny does, though?
Yeah,
Johnny stays out, they come, he comes, they stay out.
I think you might have to stay out. It's just too little time to make up, say, 10 spots if 10 people stay out. Johnny's going to be sweating this one out for sure. he was in control of that one. Looks like Josh Clark and Brandon Key just came together there. And, you know, if Bayuk and Mark Whitley are still hanging out somewhere, they can jump in the infield care center. We can take care of them now. But, ooh, man, what a crazy race so far. A lot of cautions, but really not nearly as many as I would call like a bad race. We make it about 10 or 15 laps before the cars start to spin out. And, you know, these guys have really been wheeling them. We've seen a lot of big moments and great racing, side-by-side racing so far in this one. Yeah, here's the big moment of truth right here. Yep, few do. My hand does not. Yep, and that's the tough break for Johnny Thomas. I don't think enough drivers stayed out. So I think it's going to be really tough for him to get out of here with the win now. But you're in a lose-lose situation right there if you're Johnny Thomas. Either the whole field comes down behind you, or you come down and the whole field stays out. We got 4 guys staying out here. Thomas Campbell, My Hand, and Michael Goodman. And Thomas Sherman stays out as well. So 5 cars staying out. You're gonna have a few more. Looks like I can't tell who's on the lead lap necessarily, but we've got. Should we talk to Johnny? Oh, that's a good idea. Let's talk to the race leader. Let's pull him to the TV booth. Johnny Thomas.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, so you're leading.
I know.
Some of them guys got fresh tires behind you. You a little worried here?
Yeah, I think we're sitting ducks, guys. I wish that caution didn't come out. Why it's always got to come out with guys in racing for 10th through 30th? Man, it's every single time in multiple leagues. But man, this is fun. We took tires there on the last caution, and we wheeled up through there pretty fast. Me and Drew. I think Drew had 2 tires. And I was just following him. He got by me. I was just following him, and you know, he kind of door slammed him, and Weeks hit each other, and that opened the door for me to get by him. And I really thought I had it. The only thing that I was a little bit worried about is, for some reason, I'm not that quick in the straightaway speed. So Gerald was getting kind of a big run, but in the turns, I was clearing him out. But we'll see what happens here. I don't know. I didn't think anybody had a set of tires left, but they fooled me.
Hey, they got a lot of cars to pick through here, so just keep your foot in it here, Johnny, and good luck, man. Hopefully we're talking to you again later.
Thanks, guys.
So there's Johnny Thomas. Let's grab Matthew Bayuk here while we have a moment. Matthew Bayuk, David Westrian in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey.
Hey, man, looks like you got sucked up in that big wreck. You all right? What'd you see?
I don't remember who was outside of who. All I know is it was Letts and Campbell. One of them stuck their nose in down the backstretch, and the other one came down like he wasn't there. And of course, that's in the top 5, so everybody gets caught up.
And what you think your boy My Hand here can pull it off for your team?
That's what I'm hoping for. You know, as good of a race as we had running up front and getting the points, Dallas got behind early, and he stuck it out, and he's up there now. So I'd love for him to pull out a win. If not, just finish in one piece for us, because we're pretty banged up today overall for Shift Esports.
All right, thanks, Bayuk, and we'll see you next week, buddy. Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
All right, coming down to 2 to go here, but we got Bayuk in. So Dallas, My Hand, going to be running from 3rd. Michael Goodman up here in the top 5 all of a sudden. Josh Sobel's back up in 6th. And with all these damaged cars, I think Johnny Thomas and Gerald Campbell are going to have maybe just enough of a breakaway on these cars with tires to maybe not lose the lead instantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to watch here as we get ready to go back to green. Green-white checkered here to finish this one off here at Daytona. And a great restart for Johnny Thomas. He pulls a big advantage over Gerald Campbell.
That is huge right there. The outside lane doesn't go. Goodman damaged. Sherman damaged. Guys are going to have to be extremely aggressive to get through this pack. Thomas just needs to drive away and hide. Tate up top. He's got Mogard with him. A lot of tires up there. Gerald's going to block him, I'm sure.
Half a second lead for Thomas as they enter the middle of the backstretch. That'll close here quickly with a big run from Campbell coming. Mogard going to push Campbell to the back of Thomas all the way within a tenth.
They're going to wreck before they get here. Now Tate to the bottom. Tate Lytle with a damaged 56. Eisenman in the wall. Johnny's going to have to hold him off, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. Crashing in the back.
They're wrecking.
No caution. The white flag is out. Huge crash in the back.
Mogard looking outside. Lytle to the inside, pushing Thomas.
No,
Thomas up the track. Here comes Lytle.
Tate and Mogard. Nick and Delicato's got some speed. Here they come down the back. Can Tate Lytle do it again? Nick and Delicato to the bottom.
Lytle's out of it. Thomas trying to come back. Mogard's got it.
Oh, Mogard into Delicato. Mogard's going to have it. Off turn 4. Wow, Jared Mogard's going to win the opener at Daytona. The Harpoon Designs 250 to Jared Mogard and Delicato second. Tate Lytle third. Johnny Thomas does bring it home in fourth. What a finish that was. Oh my goodness. Cameron Rich comes home fifth. Heater sixth. Matthew Weeks rebounds to seventh after a very tough break there on the back straightaway. Gerald Campbell eighth. Hank Steinmiller ninth. Drew Eisenman 10th after kind of setting off that huge wreck. What a wild finish to this race. We're going to need to see that last lap wreck. We're going to need to talk to Jared Mogard. I think that might be the second time we'll have ever talked to him. He was in the top 10 a lot last year, but he only had like one top 5 finish. So a really good result there for Mogard. Snuck up there and won it late. I have to shout out Kwame Scott. Was a lap down, 2 laps down to start the race, rebounded onto the lead lap late and finished 14th. I just don't think there was anything Johnny Thomas could have done. Those tires were just a little bit too good. Let's call Tate Lytle to the booth and see what he thought of that finish there. Tate Lytle finished third in that one, but I was going to say, I feel like you're probably happy with that given how many times you were spun out.
Yeah, if you would have asked me like literally 4 minutes ago if I'd be upset with the third place, it wouldn't have been possible, but yeah, we got a run there, and I was hoping that Johnny would slide up a little bit more on Jared, and then I wanted to block Nick's run, but if I knew if I did any more than I did, then it would have probably wrecked me and him both. And but yeah, I face first in the fence with Ethan probably like lap 50 or so, and then in that really big wreck in 3 and 4. I mean, this thing was. I was driving about 30 degrees to the right before I fixed the damage the second time, but these things are built like tanks, man. They work great until they don't work at all, and I don't know, somehow got third. Wish we could have stole the win there, but I mean, how greedy could a guy get?
Yeah, so what do you think about it next week, given what you saw today? I mean, are you thinking it's going to be another completely chaotic race, or, are we thinking maybe it'll get a little bit better, a little more smooth out there?
I think we got off week next week. What's the week? What is that in week 2?
Rockingham.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be crazy. I'm looking forward to it though. Rockingham's one of my favorite tracks. We'll see how the field's able to adapt to it, because I think really everything everyone's driven is like Auto Club, Vegas, a little tiny bit of Richmond, and then tons of laps here. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a good track for me. I mean, it just kind of like tonight, you got to dodge the wrecks and I guess just start on the right lane on the last restart and somehow have, I don't know. I don't know how I ended up where I did there, but crazy race. Shout out to Dad if he's still watching. He probably turned it off because he thought I was completely trash back there, but shout out to him if he's still watching. Shout out to Brent Wentz, Days Gone By. He does a lot for all of us, really, but especially me and a couple other guys. So check out Days Gone By, Vintage Racing Apparel. He's got a Etsy page linked in his Twitter, and then if you just Google Days Gone By, DAYZ Gone By, it should pop right up. So go check him out. Go check out practicallyhomemade.com. Mom's got some rockin' food recipes on there. So go check those out. Thank you guys for watching us run a fake race for the umpteenth week in a row. And yeah, third place coming into the night. I would have said disappointed in third. 6 minutes ago, I would have said ecstatic with third, and that's what I am. So yeah, good stuff.
Congrats on the third, Tate, and congrats on the dual win. Good points day for you, and we'll see you next week at Rockingham.
Sounds good, man. We'll see you there.
Alrighty, that's Tate Lytle, driver of the number 56 car for Pro Edge Racing. Trying to get Nick and Delicato in here. I'm not seeing him on the list. So there he is. All right, let's bring Nick and Delicato in here. We'll go third to the lead. Nick and Delicato, you got us, buddy?
Uh-oh, the internet. I don't think the internet's working. Hold on.
I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
There it is.
There we go.
Nick, you were not up there very much at all in this race, and you wound up second, man. How'd you do that?
Hell if I know. I mean, it was possibly the most uneventful but eventful race I've had in a while. I don't know if you guys got it, but I flipped maybe on lap like 40. Yeah, a lot went down. I had shitty internet for a while, so I was I don't know if I can curse, unlucky, but you know, it was a tough race, and I pulled it out there in the end somehow and got lucky and took tires, so all luck.
And anything you maybe could have done differently there trying to pass Mogard, or was your car maybe a little too beat up to make a run on him?
To be honest with you, I mean, surprisingly, I didn't have that much damage for finishing, with the damage that I had, I didn't have that much speed loss, but I mean, there's nothing I could do. Mogard had such a good run. I pulled it 3 wide. I know we all had new tires up there, except for Johnny and a couple other guys. So, I mean, I pulled it 3, and Mogard actually came out of nowhere. I didn't think we were 3 wide, and I didn't think he was clear until he came down, and I had nothing else to do other than push him. But I mean, I'll take a second place out of that. I was really hoping for the win. I made the move. It was the only move I could do to get the win. But overall, I mean, great finish.
And, I swear eventually you're going to win one of these ERSCA races, Nick. I mean, you've been so close so many times.
Yeah, I mean, last year was a struggle. I had so many chances to win. The Daytona road course, last year, I think I was leading by like 30 seconds or something, and ended up, taken out. But eventually, I think I'll win one of these things. But for Daytona, my luck is absolutely terrible. So I will take a second place any day of the week, especially after the first big crash.
And you got anybody to thank here before we send you off?
I'd really like to thank the team Shift Esports. I mean, they've done a lot, and everybody's had a role. And even though the rest of our cars really didn't have a good finish per se, I mean, it was great teamwork all around. Also, I'd love to shout out SR Design, Seth Rawls, who did race tonight. He makes all the amazing paint schemes. Can't thank him enough for all the graphic work he does. It's insane. And then lastly, our new partner, the Mohawk Foundation. Great foundation. You can go on Shift Esports Twitter, and you'll get all the links to them. It's a new sponsor that came on. That's why we all have pink cars. They look amazing. Other than that, I mean, again, thank the team, sponsors, everybody. And thank you guys for the broadcast.
Now, thank you, Nick, and good luck next week at Rockingham, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's Nick and Delicato, and now we will bring up race winner Jared Mogard. Jared, how'd you do that, man?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. We got lucky there in the last restart. The outside lane didn't go, and once we got clear, I just went up there and I don't know. I kind of figured off the top there, that final run or the middle, and I knew that was going to be my only shot. Just try to pinch the guys down on old tires there, and once I seen I was clear going into 3, I shut the door and took a pretty good bump on entry, but was able to hang on and get it done.
And how'd you manage to get through there? It seemed like you were hanging back. Was that kind of your plan, to miss some of the wrecks? And I don't really remember if you were involved in many of them, but how close was it to ending your day before you got a chance to get this win?
Yeah, one wreck there, we killed the wall pretty good and had about 40 seconds of damage, but otherwise we were pretty close. There were a couple that I'm not quite sure how I made it through, but no, just we weren't very good in the duels. We got wrecked out early, didn't feel very comfortable, and I was trying something different, and went back to some old settings, what I'm used to, and just really we were learning as the race went on there, and like I said, just got in the right position there at the end, and just got lucky, really.
Yeah, and how do you think this kind of impacts your ability to challenge for the championship as the first race winner? You're kind of pretty well locked into the chase if you can keep it close to the top 12, since there's a couple of wild card spots. And with this car, how confident are you that you can make a run at the championship?
It's going to be a learning curve. I felt comfortable in some of the test sessions we did leading up to the season, but this is a car that really nobody's ran in, I don't know, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So, just kind of getting used to the car again and figuring out how to get it around the track. Here it's pretty simple for the most part. So, it's good to get the win, obviously, start the year out, but, the goal going into the year was just to get a win, which we got that done. But then to make the playoffs and see what happens. I think if we can be consistent, we'll be okay. And I have confidence that we can do that. But it'll be a learning curve.
All right, man. Well, you got anybody to shout out here before we send you off?
Yeah, I think Ben at Dirt Race Central, I Buy Power Computers, Future Race Reports, and then just everybody on ERSCA for putting on this deal. There's a lot of cool things happening with this series, and glad to be a part of it. Glad to get the win, and of course you guys as well for doing the broadcast. So thank you all.
All right, that's our race winner, Jared Mogard, the first winner in the 2022 ERSCA season. And with that, Dom and Carlos, that's a wrap on this first season here, or at least this first race here. I mean, we gotta wrap it up here. Look at the final results and finish this one off. Jared Mogard, the winner, as we discussed. Matthew Weeks recovering to 7th, Campbell recovering to 8th. Those guys looked like the favorites there for a long while, but it ended up being the 0-0, and you got to feel for Johnny Thomas, who kind of was a sitting duck there on that last restart.
Yeah, absolutely. Would have loved to see the series president take home the win here tonight, but unfortunately it's not in the cards for him. He finishes in 4th, Rich in 5th. James Heater finishes 6th, Matthew Weeks 7th, Campbell 8th, Hank Steinmiller in 9th, and Drew Eisenman rounds out your top 10.
Couple of more notables here as we cross it out. A big wreck on the last lap took Andy Trupiano from about 5th all the way back to 17th. So a really rough break for him. It sent Zishandura flipping down the front straightaway. But everyone was clear by the time they got back. And as we kind of keep through the running order, Dallas Myhand was another one who got absolutely brutalized by that last wreck and lost a lot of spots late there. Thomas Sherman, he had been in a bunch of wrecks, so I think 21st is probably a decent result for him, all things considered. Kind of same thing for Brandon Key. And then we're back into the number of guys who got wrecked in that huge wreck. Jared Darling, Marshall Stanley, Nick Massey, Dylan Thomas. Thomas got in a bunch of wrecks as well tonight. Ryan Lutz got taken out. And Josh Robin, the pole sitter, back in 36th. Tough way to start the season. And I mean, it was just a crazy wreck fest of a race there, but I think that's kind of what we expected based on that dual race.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the first time we came on the air last year, the Daytona race was an intense one, but in a completely different fashion than what it was tonight. And it turned out, I think, even though there was some big cautions, it didn't take away from the racing at all, and even came down to the last lap there in a great, fantastic finish.
So with that, I think that's all for us. For 3 Wide TV, Carlos Acosta, Dom Santina, I am David Westergreen for Belly Up Sports and ERSCA. That was the Harpoon Designs 250. What a great start to the season. Join us next week, same time, same YouTube channel for Rockingham for round 2 of the ERSCA season. Everybody have a good night.